Hey, babe, I need you to know I've been turning this conversation over in my mind for nights on end, rehearsing every single sentence until the moon traded places with the sun and exhaustion finally forced me to close my eyes. I realize asking you for just 5 minutes feels like a broken record at this point, something I've said before and then somehow failed to follow through on with the clarity you deserved. But tonight, I promise you, every syllable matters, because tonight I'm stripping away every half truth, every polite deflection, every easy excuse. I'm laying down the entire beating, unruly mess of my heart so you can finally see it, scars and all, exactly as it is. And if you'll grant me those 5 precious minutes, I swear I won't waste a single second of them. First, let me speak the apology that's been sitting on my tongue like a stone. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that my stubbornness has felt like a wall you keep bruising your knuckles against. I'm sorry that my silence has sounded like indifference, that my confusion has looked like betrayal, that my attempts to hold it all together made it seem as if I was pushing you away. I'm sorry for every moment I let you stand in the cold wondering whether I still cherish the warmth we once wrapped around each other like a blanket. Most of all, I'm sorry that I allowed our love, the most honest thing I've ever known, to be overshadowed by my own fear of failure. Because the truth is, I was terrified. Terrified of facing how deeply I could hurt you if I made the wrong decision. Terrified that I might not be worthy of the steady, luminous faith you've always placed in me. So instead of owning that terror and letting you hold it with me, I tried to outrun it. I filled my calendar. I filled my head with other voices. I tried to convince myself there was an easier path than the vulnerable, uncertain one that leads straight back to you. And in that frantic sprint toward nowhere, I lost sight of the fact that you were never my opponent. You were the one person willing to jog alongside me at my slowest pace, holding out a bottle of water and saying, "We'll get there together." I know that from where you stand. It probably looks like I've spent months ignoring every attempt you made to reach me. I can't blame you for thinking that. I can't blame you for wondering if I'd already traded our future for something flashier, something simpler. But if you could excavate the pile of thoughts crowding my skull, you'd find your name etched on every internal monologue, your laugh echoing in the chambers of every daydream, your love letter folded into the lining of every pocket of hope I still carry. You have never been absent from my heart, not for a breath, not for a beat. I just got so tangled up in my own shame that I forgot how to say any of that out loud. So tonight, here it is in plain language. I have been lying to myself. I kept insisting that the relationship with the third party could become something real, something worthy of the life-changing word forever. I told myself that if I just committed harder, if I just ignored the tiny warnings flashing behind my eyelids, maybe superficial chemistry would masquerade as soul-level connection. But every time I tried to envision walking down an aisle with them, the image came out blurry and incomplete, like a dream that dissolves the instant you open your eyes. My heart would not produce the colors, the texture, the melody of love required to sustain that vision, because my heart was occupied elsewhere, occupied by you. My friends saw it long before I was willing to face it. They watched me polish a cracked mirror, hoping the fractures might rearrange themselves into a flawless reflection. They listened politely while I listed reasons the relationship made sense on paper, and then they tipped their heads with gentle skepticism because they could feel the paper crumpling between my fingers. Eventually, those gentle looks became louder than any words they could have spoken. And one day, while staring into my own weary reflection, I finally recognized what they had witnessed from the start. Love is not something you stretch to fit. Love is the garment tailor made for your soul. The third party was, at best, a temporary distraction, and at worst, a refuge for my unacknowledged insecurity. They aren't inherently bad, and I will never disparage them to justify my mistakes. But the connection we had was two-dimensional, pleasant, uncomplicated, and ultimately hollow when I pressed on its walls. With you, everything is painfully three-dimensional. Every laugh has depth. Every touch has echo. Every disagreement is followed by a sacred ritual of repair that leaves us stronger, not weaker. That kind of intimacy scared me because it demanded growth, demanded honesty, demanded the kind of courage I wasn't sure I possessed. So I tried to hide inside something that didn't require quite so much of me, something that asked for only the version of myself I could produce on command. But you? You ask for the unedited version. You want the first draft, messy margins and all. You want the chapter I'm too afraid to show anyone else. The one where the protagonist makes all the wrong choices before stumbling into redemption. You want the footnotes, the annotations, the discarded plot lines I thought would never see daylight. And instead of judging those flaws, you highlight them with a yellow marker and write in the margins. This is where the real story begins. That is love. And that is why I cannot spend another second pretending the ending could belong to anyone else. So let me answer the question your silence keeps asking. If not them, then who? It's you. It has always been you. It will always be you. I don't know why it took me so long, or why I needed to break my own heart in order to see what was right in front of me, but I do know this. Every mile I wandered was a breadcrumb trail leading me back to your door. And now that I'm standing here, I'm ready to use every last breath convincing you I'm not leaving again. I understand that words alone aren't enough. I've offered apologies before, and then fear snatched the steering wheel the moment things got difficult. So this time, I'm offering a blueprint instead of a bandage. If you're willing to consider turning the page with me, here are the foundations I promise to pour. Radical transparency. From this moment on, no question you ask will be too inconvenient. No answer I give will be sugar-coated. If my voice shakes with vulnerability, let it shake. Honesty that trembles is still honesty. Shared decision-making. I won't barrel ahead with plans and expect you to draft your life around them. Every big choice, career, location, how we spend holidays, how we merge friend groups, will be treated like a collaborative canvas. We both get paint on our hands. Active listening. I'm trading reactive defenses for receptive pauses. When you're hurt, I will not scramble to dismantle your feelings with logic. I will first acknowledge the wound, then ask how to help it heal. Protective boundaries. We will cocoon our relationship in agreements we craft together, agreements that honor trust, time, and emotional safety. If something threatens those agreements, I will confront it head on instead of hoping it resolves itself. Ongoing growth. Counseling, workshops, books, late night conversations on the living room floor. I'm willing to invest in every tool that teaches me how to love you better. Not because you require fixing, but because love is an art that deserves relentless refinement. I know you might be thinking, that's a lot of good intentions, but how do I know you won't revert to old habits once the high of reconciliation fades? Fair question. The answer is, watch my feet, not my lips. Give me time to turn these promises into patterns. Let my consistency be the evidence that you can safely unlock the parts of your heart you've had under guard. And if skepticism hangs around like a cautious friend, that's okay. I'll welcome your hesitation the same way I hope you'll welcome my imperfect progress as a natural companion on the journey toward real trust. Nothing meaningful is forged in a single conversation. What matters is the day-by-day, choice-by-choice construction of a future where both of us feel seen, safe and wildly loved. I wish I could rewind the clock to the first day doubt crept between us and snatch it away before it ever sprouted roots. But time only moves in one direction, and regret is a heavy bag to drag into tomorrow. So instead, I'm offering you the only thing that transcends our broken yesterdays: a committed, courageous today. A today where I stand before you, uncloaked, unguarded, and utterly convinced that life with you is worth every ounce of vulnerability it demands.